In the stillness of the ancient night, when the forests whispered secrets older than kingdoms, and the moon poured silver upon the earth, there walked a goddess whose footsteps left no trace. She was the untamed spirit of the wilderness, the shadow between trees, a soft glow that guided hunters and guarded the innocent. Mortals spoke her name with reverence and awe. Artemis, daughter of light, mistress of the bow, eternal maiden of the moon. And where her arrows flew, destiny listened. For in the world before time was tamed, Artemis was both protector and predator, feared and worshipped in equal measure. Artemis, goddess of the moon and the hunt, Artemis was born in the age when gods shaped the world with thunder, storm, and song. She and her twin brother Apollo came into existence on the sacred island of Delos, hidden from the wrath of Hera, queen of the heavens. Their mother, the gentle Titaness Leto, wandered the earth in suffering, hounded relentlessly by Hera's jealousy. No land dared offer her shelter, for the queen's rage was terrible, and the world trembled beneath her fury. Yet Delos, a drifting isle, took pity. There, beneath a sky heavy with divine tension, Leto gave birth to Artemis, calm, strong, and strangely aware from the moment she opened her eyes. She was born first, emerging into the world in a hush of silver radiance. And in one of the most sacred tales of Greek myth, the newborn Artemis is said to have helped her mother deliver Apollo, her twin, acting as midwife before she even knew speech. The gods themselves watched in awe, for in Artemis they saw both mercy and ferocity, a divine balance rarely found. She asked Zeus, her father, for gifts suited to her nature, a bow of moonlit silver, eternal maidenhood, the freedom of the wilderness, and guardianship over all wild creatures. Zeus granted her wishes without hesitation. Thus Artemis rose not merely as a daughter of Olympus, but as a sovereign soul untamed, eternal, and bound to the moon's cold fire. Powers and domain, Artemis rules over the wild places of the world, those untouched realms where mortals tread lightly and spirits linger in the shadows. She is the goddess of the hunt, moving with silent purpose through forests, mountains, and moonlit plains. Her silver bow never misses, her arrows swift as the night wind. To hunters she grants skill. To the hunted she grants mercy or swift release. As goddess of the moon, she commands its glow, guiding travelers in darkness and shaping tides and rhythms beyond mortal understanding. She is also protector of maidens and young women, a guardian of purity, strength, and independence. Her presence calms childbirth, yet her wrath brings plagues upon those who offend her or harm her sacred animals. Artemis is the very embodiment of duality, nurturer and destroyer, huntress and guardian, light of the moon and shadow of the wild. She walks between worlds, between civilization and wilderness, between life and death, between gentleness and vengeance. No other Olympian moves with such quiet might. Myths and battles among the countless myths of Artemis, none captures her divine fury and cold justice more vividly than the story of Actaeon, a mortal hunter whose fate still echoes through ancient forests. Actaeon was renowned among mortals for his unmatched skill in the hunt. Proud and fearless, he roamed the mountains with his hounds, challenging even the gods in ambition. One fateful day, wandering deeper into the woods than ever before, he stumbled upon a secluded glade, bathed in mist and shimmering moonlight. There, surrounded by nymphs, stood Artemis, not as a warrior, but at rest, bathing in a sacred spring. Actaeon froze, struck motionless by the sight of divine beauty he was never meant to witness. But the eyes of a goddess miss nothing. Artemis rose from the water with a calm that chilled the air. There was no scream, no thunder, no dramatic declaration. She merely lifted her hand, and with a single gesture transformed Actaeon into a stag. His heart pounded with terror as he fled into the forest, but his own hounds, confused and driven by instinct, gave chase. They did not recognize the man they once obeyed. And so Actaeon, the greatest of hunters, became the hunted. His cries echoed through the valleys until silence reclaimed the woods. Artemis did not act from vanity nor cruelty. In the mythology of the ancients, her vengeance was the price of trespassing upon the sacred, a lesson carved into the memory of mortals. The wild has boundaries even kings cannot cross. Yet Artemis was not only the goddess of punishment. She fought alongside gods and heroes, defended the young, and protected the vulnerable. In the Trojan War, her arrows brought healing to the wounded and plague to the guilty. She stood with the wilderness against those who sought to ravage it. Her wrath was fearsome, but her protection fierce and absolute. Symbolism and legacy. Through the ages, Artemis became more than a goddess. She became a symbol of independence, purity, and strength unbound by expectation. Her moonlit presence represents intuition, mystery, and a quiet resilience found in nature. Hunters invoked her for precision, while young women prayed to her for guidance and protection. Her symbols carry deep meaning. The moon, illumination in darkness, cycles of life and rebirth. The bow and arrow, focus, precision. Divine justice, the deer, grace and innocence. Protected fiercely by the goddess, the cypress tree, mourning, transformation, and eternal memory temples dedicated to Artemis stood across Greece. From the sanctuary at Broron to the colossal temple of Artemis at Ephesus, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Her worship shaped festivals, rites of passage, and sacred traditions that endured for centuries. Even today, Artemis remains a figure of empowerment, representing the wild within the human spirit, the moon's quiet guidance, and the ancient truth that strength can be both gentle and relentless. So when the moon rises high above silent forests and the night wind stirs the leaves, remember the huntress who walks unseen. Artemis, guardian of the wild, mistress of the moon, eternal protector of those who wander with pure hearts. Her legend endures not in temples alone, but in every shadowed path and silver-lit moment where nature breathes freely. For as long as the moon hangs in the sky, the spirit of Artemis will never fade.